If there's one thing I talked about a lot on this channel, it's different messenger bags and just bags in general, but specifically slings, messenger bags, small kind of like daily city packs. I've done a ton of reviews, so I'll put a bunch of links to those in the description below and covering those. But over the years, I definitely have figured out what I like and what I don't like about various different sling bags. And I think I kind of landed on this one. This is my favorite sling messenger, not messenger bag, I shouldn't say that, because I have different preferences when you're talking about a messenger bag that carries a lot of stuff like your laptop and things like that. But as far as like going around the city, when you're not carrying like huge things like your laptop or big cameras, SLR, stuff like that, this is my kind of favorite everyday sling. This is the, let me see here, because they're using like a French name on this, even though this is a San Francisco based company. I forgot to mention that this is made here in the US, so that's a big selling point for me. I typically look for things like that, and that kind of, it gives me good feelings using these and buying these when I know it's made here in the US. And I kind of have that relation to it. And it's nice supporting people here that have good working conditions, and yeah, I'll stop talking about that. But anyways, this is the Waterfield Designs bag. It's the, let me see, I have the pronunciation here. Vitesse Cycling Musette. So I think that in French, Vitesse means like speed, cycling, and then Musette means bag, as far as I can tell. So it's a speed cycling bag in English. I'll put a link to it. It's $120. It's just really, really cheap for a bag made here in the United States. Oh, here's my dog coming in. Sorry if you hear little nails coming around. It's really, really cheap. It has really good hardware. It's really well made. They offer a leather version of this, so this is $120. They offer a leather variation in different colorways at $220. So you're paying $100 more to get the leather one. I definitely prefer the wax canvas because the wax canvas has some type of kind of like water resistance compared to leather. You don't have to be as careful with it. And I think this is supposed to be like a kind of a small, cheaper sling you wear around town. And I think $200 is a little bit expensive for that, just for something so casual. And I think this looks just as nice, if not better, than the leather. And this age is nice. You can tell it's getting kind of scratched up from my daily use. And I think this just is a good looking bag that looks like something an adult would use. So one of the reasons I started looking for another sling is I had the Kava something. I'll put the link to the review in the description, like I said. And it just doesn't look like a very adult thing. It kind of looks like just, it's more of a casual bag. It's made with like kind of the plastic, polyester, synthetic material stuff. And while I do like it, the layout was kind of weird. The way it's set on your body was odd, and I just didn't think it looked like something like an adult, like a professional would be wearing around town. I couldn't really take it to work, so I do take this to work occasionally when I'm not taking my laptop into the office. And I feel fine carrying this around with even nicer clothes or in a suit or things like that, just because I think it looks a little better. And I also like the axis. So the Kava had like zippers running like vertically, so when it was like this, you can get into it. But when it was straight up and down, it was like the pockets were kind of like vertical and things can fall out. So I like this kind of like typical layout. This is a little bit bigger. There's not as many pockets. The Kava had a bunch of different pockets and zippers and stuff. And the chrome cycling bag that I had before that also kind of had a different layout. And while I still prefer the chrome for actually like cycling, so I still use the chrome when I'm riding my bike because it has like dedicated features for that type of stuff. So like it has a place to put your U-lock and things like that. If I'm not on my bike, this is the one I use, and the Kava is kind of like fallen to the wayside. I don't typically really use that ever anymore. So let me talk about this a little bit. It's a very, very simple bag. There's not a whole lot to it. There's this strap. Previously, they've had this bag in their lineup for a long time. But before, they had this kind of like janky little butt-in thing where you just put the leather and kind of like put it through a little hook. And I thought that was just kind of weird. So I waited until I guess I wasn't waiting, but when they updated it and they came out with this new latching system, I think this is like this is a very common type of latching thing used on a lot of like different tactical gear. I can't remember the name of it now. It's like Raptor or I don't know, but it has those two little push buttons right here, and it kind of latches like this. It's a very secure and easy to operate thing, even though I'm making it look like it's kind of difficult. It could be done with one hand really easily. Latched, and then of course when I'm trying to demonstrate it I can do it, but trust me, it's very easy to operate typically. And you can just cinch it down like that. Very convenient. So inside you have one giant pocket. I'll put this on the desk too in a minute to show you. But there's one giant pocket. that runs along the whole length of the bag. And then there's 2 smaller pockets that add up to about the same size as the large pocket. And they're about the same depth of the bag. A little bit less deep, but they're fairly large. So yeah, I guess mine will just rotate to the table and I can take this apart and kind of talk about my EDC right now as well. So let's get you over there. So hopefully this is a usable angle. So this is the things I'm carrying right now. I will quickly talk about how well it holds different firearms. I don't really carry any, like, I don't conceal carry in this anymore. I used to conceal carry quite often, but for whatever reason, I'm just not doing it very much anymore. But I will kind of talk about how that fits in here just because I know a lot of people have followed from my previous reviews and they care about that type of thing. So I'll get to that at the end and I'll put a little bookmark in there so you can skip to that if that's all you're interested in. I always carry my glasses and my sunglasses in these little pouches. So you can buy these pouches on Amazon fairly cheap and they're just little fabric pouches. And I like this compared to a firm kind of like rigid glasses case because it's easier to fit into things. And really I'm just trying to keep my glasses from getting scratched. I'm not trying to keep them from getting crushed. Typically I actually keep them in here. So this little pencil pouch also from Waterfield. I'll put a link in there. I don't think this is a great deal. I just bought it so I can get the free shipping at the time. I do really like it, but it's like $35 or $40 for a pencil pouch, which is kind of ridiculous. And at the time I just bought it to get to that point. Or maybe I was like, you would get something free or something. I don't know. They always get me with those type of things. But I'll keep my glasses in here with the pencil pouch pretty typically. And this is the same kind of wax canvas material as the bag, so it matches. And I do like it. I'm just not gonna like really recommend this, especially like a $40 pencil pouch. So in here, just some pencils. I always like using these. What are these here? Ugh. I had a lot of coffee today, so I'm a little jittery. Blackwing pencils. They're really nice writing pencils, and it's like my favorite pencil to have on hand. And I have just a little tiny pencil sharpener in here. And I also keep some lead. So I have this, what is this here? Kuratoga. So I saw this on TikTok, but this mechanical pencil is always rotating. So every time you write, it's like constantly rotating the lead. So you always have like a sharp angle on your piece of lead, which is really cool. So this is like my favorite mechanical pencil right now. And then I have like just a regular pencil. And I do quite a bit of sketching, and I'll talk about that in a second. I'm still using this Travax. I don't want to show my credit cards here, but Travax wallet here is just like a really just a thin piece of metal with a strap on it. And I've been using this for like, I don't know now, like 6 years. And that's the longest I've ever used a wallet in my entire life. So that says something. They don't really sell that exact model anymore, but I'll put a link to the equivalent one they still offer today. I have an EpiPen inhaler. Don't really need those, but I still just carry them around. I have a couple pins, nothing interesting there. This is a Leatherman rebar. So I picked the rebar just because it's the most fully featured Leatherman that doesn't have any removable pieces. So I hate trying to, especially on these like multi-tools, manage all these different attachments and different things you can lose. So I went with the one that had the most, that had nothing removable that you can lose and had to try to replace. So I really like this. I use it for a lot of different things when I'm out of the house, and it's covered me for everything. So I personally wouldn't recommend any other Leatherman above that one. Here's my work badge. You don't need to see that. I have a Costco gift card in there, some random papers. Oh, I will quickly talk about, it's a little easier to see this way. These pockets are big enough, so when I'm out with friends and stuff, I've been carrying one of these like instant cameras recently. This is the Intax Mini 40. Not the best quality, but it's kind of cool. You can take some pictures and have like an instant picture come out, and it fits perfectly in that pocket. So if I'm out going with people, socializing, and that, I'll just carry this around. So, oh, actually I have an instant picture I took with this while we're in the bag. So yeah, you can kind of, I don't know if we'll focus on that. But yeah, me and the dog in the forest in LA. And I'm actually wearing the bag, but you probably can't tell that in there. Maybe you can. Sorry, my hands are dry too, if you notice, kind of like my cracked skin and stuff. All right, my dog. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. She's like getting worked up about something. And then I carry around just a sketchbook. So when I'm going on trips now, I always like day to day, I'll sketch out like just different events and different things throughout the day. Kind of helps me remember what I did, and it's kind of fun to look back on these things. So like this is last year when I was in Alaska. So kind of a cool little thing, and that's kind of where I carry the pencil and different things so I can sketch in here, take notes, and this is just like a general like art notebook. So I really like having this, and I carry this around pretty much every day now when I have this bag. I also I'm in the middle of buying some property, and it's nice being able to sketch out kind of like ideas I have for the property in there. So yeah, that's the whole bag. There's not a whole lot to it. I don't have any kind of like problems with it except one problem, which is kind of odd. So let me demonstrate that. Let me load this back up so I don't have to do this after. So I don't know, for whatever reason, they decided to put a really long, ridiculously long strap on this, which I don't know why they did this, because like the other bags I have from them are not like this. So I had to cinch this up quite a bit, but if you have this fully loosened, so I'm 5'8". I'm not like I'm not tall by any means, but I'm also not like short. So look how long you can get this. And even if you're a giant, if you're like 6'5" or something like that, you're not gonna be wearing it at this full length. So I don't know why they put so much strap on this, which you would think is just, okay, that's a nice thing that you have so much flexibility. But the problem is, like I mentioned, I'm 5'8", so let me get this back up to where I like it. So this is actually even a little bit longer than I like. Oh, so this is kind of what I'm talking about. Ugh. You have to cinch this up so much if you're not extremely tall. And when you do that, you're left with a ton of like double strap. And this just gets caught on stuff. I'm always like putting my arm through here. And it's just like you have these double straps and there's no kind of elastic to keep it together. So it's just a little bit unmanageable at times just because you have to keep it up so much. Like I have it almost all the way cinched up, and I'm not that short. So that's the only negative I have with this. I forgot to mention there's a nice little handle here. So it's like from just carrying out from the house to the car and throwing in the car, you have that, which is cool. So definitely my favorite bag. I don't really have any plans on replacing this one anytime soon. I don't know what I would improve, and overall it's my favorite one. Over all these years of reviewing bags, this is absolutely my top choice. I just saw the firearms over there and I forgot that I didn't cover that also. Let's get back over here. Take this camera out. So this is a Glock 43. Let's get this fixed a little bit. A Glock 43, and it fits just fine in there. I would say almost perfectly in that little pouch. This is in a sticky holster. I do have a 19. I don't have a holster for that, but a 19 also fits like really nicely in there. And maybe even like a Glock 17 or something larger would fit, but I think 19 is about the upper limit on something that would fit kind of nicely in there without being protruding too much or anything. So if you're interested in that type of thing, 43 or anything smaller than 19 will fit nicely in this bag. So for those of you that care about that, and I might start carrying again, who knows. That's just some good information to have, I guess. But that's the bag. Hope everybody is doing well. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, recommendations, just leave a comment. I always respond to most people. So yeah, hope everybody's doing well, and I'll see you out there.